Hey guys, this is Mateo and I'm going to be making a quick tutorial on how to make a simple maze game using GameMaker 0.1. So the first thing you want to do is open your browser, go on Google and type in GameMaker 8.1. The first link with Yo-Yo Games should be the right one. Yo-Yo Games are the people that made this program, and go ahead and download the free installer to get GameMaker 0.1. After you did that and installed all your files, you have to remember to make a shortcut to the application on your desktop so it's easy to access. So what you want to do is you want to start it up, and it will come up with this message. You don't really need to read it. It's just asking you to promote, and what you do is you start off and you want to select on the advanced mode, because that's the one I'm going to be using. So the first step we're going to be taking is creating your own sprite. So when you open GameMaker and you go to the top left corner, you should see this little red Pac-Man. It's the create a sprite button. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and click that, and what comes up is this little sprite menu. You could load a sprite. If you go on Google and download a sprite, you can save a sprite in case you really like it. You want to name your sprite just so you remember what the sprite is of. And if you're like me, you can go ahead and make your own sprite. You can see a preview of your sprite once you're done making it. If you want to create your own sprite, go on this little white page, you create your own sprite. You can choose the width and the height of the sprite. Usually 32 is pretty good because it's for simple sprites, and it's just easier to do. So you got zooming in, you got like spray paints, you can select colors that you've already used without going back and getting them all over again. You got obviously your pencil. You got a wide selection of colors. You can change the transparency of the colors, and you can kind of mess around, make your own sprite, just whatever you want. Oops. Set the transparency to 0. So yeah, you can mess around, make your own sprite, do whatever you want. It's just it's really fun. It's kind of the best, my favorite thing about GameMaker. It's the creativity that goes behind it, because most of it is just design. So after you're done making your own sprites, you're going to need to make sprites for your character that you're going to be playing as. The walls, since it's a maze, you need walls, because then it would be too easy. And a sprite for everything else, like the enemies you're going to be encountering, and just even decorations, just to make the place look nicer. Even your end goal, which is what you're going after, and even coins or stuff like that to collect points. After you're done with that, we're going to move on to step 2, which is animating your sprite. To animate your sprite, you go to create a sprite, and you make your sprite. You go edit sprite. Unfortunately, you're going to have to animate the walking frame by frame. Usually if you make a simple enough and small enough sprite, you won't need to do too much. I mean, I went kind of I hit the ball a bit out of the park and just made this a bit more 3D. I didn't really have to, but I mean, it takes a lot of time, and if you don't want to do it, you can just do a really simple animation. Just move a few pixels, just to get the idea that your character is moving. It's essential for when you put your character in the game to have them an animation to move, or else they look just like a single image just moving, which is kind of weird. And after you make all your different animations for the directions your character is going to be moving, of course, left, right, up, down, we're going to move on to step 3, which is making your object. So again, you're going to find the icon in the top left corner. It's this little blue circle. You want to go ahead and click that and create an object. And this is kind of what it's going to look like when you click that. Of course, my one has all the programming done in it already, but pretty much you get to name your object. You select the sprite for your object, which is very important. If you're doing the object for your sprite, always select the standing still sprite as the starting out object. Make them visible, so obviously you can see them when you play the game. And here we have the events, which is kind of the programming you're going to be doing to the object. And none of it is coding, so it's really easy. It's all drag and drop for this selection of submenus at the side. What you want to do is, before you make the object for your character, make the object for your walls, and just go ahead. You don't need to do any programming for these. Just call them walls, select the wall sprite, make them visible and solid, so GameMaker knows that your character is going to be touching it. And what you want to go is you want to go to event, go ahead and click collision, and then you select the wall object, and then you go ahead to the first submenu, move, and you drag in this move fixed. And what you want to do is you want to click the little button in the center, which isn't going in any direction. So that tells GameMaker that your object is going to stop when it touches the wall, and when you set the move speed to 0, because obviously you're not going to be going anywhere if you keep running into a wall. And you do that if you did walls like me. I made connecting walls. You can just have simple block walls, so you don't have to do it for every type of wall. And yeah, that's how you stop your character from going over walls. Then you're also going to need to make the object for your little goal. Again, you don't need to put any programming in that one. The programming goes in the character object, and again, it's a collision event, so go to event and collision and select the goal object. And what you want to do for this one is, if you want, you can display a little message when they reach the goal at the end of the level, which is right here in the main 2 submenu, and you just drag and drop it in there, and you type a little message, like I wrote just "you win" because I only have 1 level. Then you can go to score, because when you collect points by going on the coins, you want to show the high score table, which is right here. And if you have only 1 level like me, if you go down to main 1, there's the little restart room, which is your level event. So it plays these in order by giving you the message first, then showing you the score, and then restarting. So you gotta make sure the order is in the correct way, because if it restarts the room before giving you a message, it'd be a bit weird. Again, there's other things you want to collision with, like the enemy. You want to go to a score, and there's a little one right here, which is a set your score. And you can, obviously you lose points when you die, so -5, and always remember to do relative, because if you don't click relative, it doesn't take away 5 points, it just gives you -5 as a constant score. So but just remember that. And then obviously we go down to the movement. If you're gonna go to event, keyboard, and select a key on the keyboard, like you see right here, left, right, up, down, the directions. But then there's also the option for no key, which is the first one we need to be doing. And then you go back to the movement submenu and drag in the move fixed, and like as if you're hitting the wall, you click the center and 0 speed. And what you want to do is you go to main 1 and you bring in the change sprite event, and when you drag that in, you select here from your sprites and have them do the standing still sprite, so it knows not to play one of the walking sprites. And then here, if you go to press a key on the keyboard again, you select the 4 directions, you go to move, you drag one of these in. Obviously for left, you're gonna, instead of selecting the center thing, you move it left. And remember to give them a decent speed. I mean, 4 is okay, they don't move too terribly fast, but they don't go too slow. So I guess 4 is a good speed. It's just, remember, if you don't make an animation that looks like your character is like sprinting, don't give them like a speed like 3, because then the animation, it just makes it look weird, because it looks like they're sprinting but they're actually moving like at a crawl. And you do that, oh yeah, again, you also have to bring in the change sprite. So for the press left key, first you do obviously the direction left and the speed, and then you come in here and you select the moving to the left sprite. So when you press left, it plays the animation. Also the other objects, there's the gold, obviously. The gold, to gain points when you run into the coins, you gotta add a collision event with your character. And since you want the gold to disappear, unless you want to hack it and just keep getting as many points as you want, you gotta bring in this little destroy instance, so it disappears. And then go to score and drag one of these in again. Instead of -5, add 5. But remember to make it relative, so it adds instead of just making it just 5. And again, remember to make it solid, or else the collision event doesn't work with this. And then finally we come down to the enemy. What you want to do with simple maze games, you want to add an event called create, and in that create again you want to bring in one of these moves. And what I did, I made them as soon as they're created move either up or down, and I set a move speed as 3, so my little person has enough time to run away from the enemies. So what this does in the create event, as soon as it's made, as soon as the game starts, it moves either up or down. And again, you want to make them collide with walls, you don't want to make them go through walls. But for the enemy, you want to go, instead of just stop, there's another event down here which gets them to bounce off walls. And what you want to do is you want to bounce them off precisely and only against solid objects. Precisely makes them go directly in the opposite direction they were coming. As if they were coming down, they hit a wall, they go back up. They don't just go in any direction, or else it'd be too hard to avoid them. Now we come on to our fourth and final step, is making your room, aka your level. The way you do this is, again, like all the other icons, come up to the top left corner and there's this white box called create a room, and what you want to do is you want to go ahead and click on that. This is what comes up in empty room. So hopefully by now you would have made all your objects. So what you want to do is you go on objects here, and then it'll give you one of the objects, one of the random ones. You click on it to give you the whole selection of objects. You can click whichever object you want. You click to wherever you want to place it. You do whatever you want. An easy way, if you want to, instead of click every time, you can hold shift and click to do a continuous stream. You can hold shift and right click to delete what you've set. And what you can do is you can go ahead and plan out your level, do whatever you want. You can even change the background of your level by changing the color here, and choose a color that you want or you think suits your game best. And hopefully when you're finished with that, you'll get something that looks a little like this. And you got all your things set out nicely, and you're ready to play your game. So what you want to do when you're finished, you come up here to the top left corner, and there should be a green arrow called run the game, and you click that, and this little window comes up, and there's a little loading bar, and then your game should start. And look a little, so here's the load bar, and then here's game. What you're gonna have to do is sometimes you have to click in the window because it's not selected, and you can play your game and test it out. If there's anything wrong, you can go back in the video and see what you did differently, and you could just play your game. If you're interested, you could make more levels, and if you feel like you got the hang of this, you can try make it more complicated. See, the enemy just killed me, that works. And I lost points. I'm also gaining points from the coins. I'm not going through walls, and the animations are playing, so that's good. And the game's pretty much finished. Now we just have to see if the goal works. And yeah, you win, high score, and yeah, it's done, and the thing restarted. So I'm done here. Hopefully the tutorial helped you with making your own little maze game, and see you soon.